On Friday evening, June 13th, 2025, South Carolina carried out its sixth execution in 9 months. 57-year-old Stephen Christopher Stanko died by lethal injection at the Broad River Correctional Institution in Columbia. Stanko had been sentenced to death for 2 separate murders and a brutal sex crime committed in April 2005. Tonight, we present a measured yet factual account of his life. The crime spree, trials, decades on death row, appeals, execution method, final meal, and his last words, born January 13, 1968, at Guantanamo Bay Naval Base. Stephen Stanko spent his life moving between homes due to his father's military service. He dropped out of high school and by his mid-20s had a criminal record that included assault and kidnapping, for which he served over 8 years in prison. Diagnosed with frontal lobe brain damage from earlier injuries, defense attorneys argued during his trials that Stanko suffered from impulse control issues. Outside of prison, he was known as charming, volunteering at orphanages and coaching youth sports. But this facade would give way to a shocking and violent spree that on April 8, 2005, in Mulls Inlet, Georgetown County, Stanko sexually assaulted and strangled his girlfriend, 43-year-old librarian Laura Ling, while her 15-year-old daughter listened. According to court records, the attack included rape and slitting the daughter's throat, though she survived and later testified. Hours later, Stanko traveled 25 miles to his friend's 74-year-old retired Air Force Master Sergeant Henry Lee Turner's Conway home. According to documents, Turner was shot twice in his bedroom, his bank account emptied before Stanko fled. Investigators followed leads to Augusta, Georgia, where Stanko was arrested days later. He admitted to both murders and the violent assault on the teenager. Stanko was tried in Georgetown County in 2006. The jury convicted him of first-degree murder, kidnapping, armed robbery, criminal sexual conduct, and assault in Ling's case. He received his first death sentence there. In 2009, another jury in Horry County convicted him of murdering Turner, imposing a second death sentence. During trial, the surviving daughter described hearing her mother's final moments. Prosecutors described him as a psychopath capable of cold-blooded violence, and over the next 2 decades, Stanko filed multiple appeals. His lawyers challenged his death sentence, citing his brain injury and mental impairment, and disputed the constitutionality of South Carolina's firing squad option. Just weeks before his execution, attorneys asked a federal judge to pause proceedings, citing concerns from a recent firing squad execution where bullets missed the heart, raising questions of cruel and unusual punishment. The federal judge dismissed the appeal, finding no evidence of wrongful execution protocols. While on death row, Stanko maintained religious routines and intellectual pursuits. He co-authored Living in Prison, tutored other inmates, and wrote letters indicating reflection on his past. He initially opted for the firing squad, but ultimately chose lethal injection after learning execution by squad had risked prolonged suffering in a recent case that on the evening before his execution, Stanko was offered his final meal. He chose an elaborate Southern-style feast: fried fish, shrimp, crab cakes, baked potato, carrots, fried okra, cherry pie, banana pudding, and sweet tea. No substitutions or denials were reported. At precisely 6:06 p.m. on June 13th, Stanko entered the execution chamber and was fitted with an 4-line. Lethal injection commenced at 6:06 p.m. After an initial dose of pentobarbital, witnesses reported hearing Stanko speak inaudibly, then exhale sharply. When the second dose was administered some minutes later, he stopped breathing. At 6:34 p.m., the warden announced his death. 28 minutes after the procedure began, Stanko delivered a 3.5-minute final statement read through his attorney. In it, he expressed remorse to the families of Ling and Turner, stating his life should not be reduced to its darkest moment. "I have lived approximately 20,973 days," he said, "but I am judged solely for one." He asked they not be judged by his worst day, hoping his death would aid their healing. Witnesses included victims' relatives, Stanko's brother, and his attorney Lindsey Vann, who held rosary beads. 3 family members stared steadily at Stanko until he stopped breathing. No other final words followed. Following the execution, Governor Henry McMaster confirmed clemency had been denied, upholding the justice system's decision. He noted the state had not issued clemency in 48 executions since the death penalty's reinstatement. Stephen Stanko's execution was South Carolina's sixth since the state resumed executions in September 2024 after a 13-year pause due to a shortage of lethal injection drugs. Nationwide, it was the 23rd execution of 2025, taking place amid intense debate over execution methods, mental illness in capital defendants, and the legality of firing squads. This case illustrates the tension between procedural justice and human rights. Stanko's story, from a brain-injured youth to a death row inmate who sought forgiveness, is a stark reminder of the death penalty's irreversible finality. The crimes were brutal, the punishment carried out, yet essential questions remain about fairness, suffering, and whether justice is fully served.